आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. With the blessings of our Acharya Swamiji, we are continuing with our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita together with the commentary of Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada. We are in chapter 14, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. The division among the three gunas, the three qualities, the three characteristics, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. What each of them signifies, what are the main characteristics, Bhagavan has explained. Now, what it does, what it is was explained, what it does is going to be explained now. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajat karmani bharata jnanam avritya tutamaha pramade sanjayatyata. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. Sattva guna has got a tendency to bind us to sukha, to a sense of pleasure. Pleasure with good things. Even pleasure with good things is not encouraged because of two reasons. One is when that is not present, you are looking for that pleasure. Second is, if the pleasure goes away, you feel pained. So all pleasures, including sattvic pleasures. He said, Jnana Sangena, he said, even Jnana gives you a pleasure because we think we have known something. It is tinged with ahankara. But if we attach ourselves to Atma, we are always in pleasure, permanent ananda. So we have to go beyond the three gunas as Bhagavan explained. So this is what he is now telling us, what each of the gunas does. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati, rajaha karmani sanjayati. Rajoguna attaches you to karma. Sattva guna does not attach you to karma. Even very thought of something, Bhagavan Leelas, etc., etc. Ramayana, whatever you think, whatever you do with your mind, with your speech, with your word, with your body, when it gives you pleasure, which is transient, which occurs because of that particular occurrence, that is not desirable. Certainly, it is more desirable than Rajoguna. That he is going to tell us again. But we are now talking about individual characteristics. So what does Rajoguna do? It attaches you to action. When we are in Rajoguna, we always want to keep doing something. That is the nature of Rajoguna. Jnanam avritya tu tamaha pramade sanjayatyata. What does Tamoguna do? Tamaha jnanam avritya. Avarana is a concealment. Avritya, concealing. Having concealed jnana, pramade sanjayati. It attaches us to, it binds us to neglect. Prapta kartabhya akaranam. Shankara explains pramada as whatever we have to do, our duty, we don't want to do. That is because of our neglect. That happens when we are in tamoguna. Because it tentatively, it hides, it conceals jnana. That doesn't mean we don't have jnana. All of us know what is right, but we don't want to do what is right on many occasions when we are in tamoguna. Jnanam sattvakritam vivekam avritya, achadya, having concealed, viveka. which arises due to Sattva Guna. Jnana is essentially Viveka, discrimination, which arises due to Sattva Guna. Having concealed it, Tamaha Svena Avaranatmana Pramade Sanjayati. Tamoguna brings its own curtain, and that curtain is neglect. And we get attached to that. Now, let us look at the Iti Shatakam slogan. Pradhanam prachannam grihamupagate sambhramavidhi priyam kritva maunam sadasi kasanam chapyapakritehe अनुस्सेको लक्ष्म्या निरभिभवसाराः परकथाः सतां केनोद्दिष्टं विषमम् अतिधारा व्रतमिदम् सतां केन उद्दिष्टं विषमम् अतिधारा व्रतम् इदम्. Why is this very tough conduct prescribed for wise people, for virtuous people? Satam. Kena uddishtam. Why is this prescribed? Vishamam, extremely tough. Atidhara, vratamidam. It is like walking on the edge of the blade, edge of the sword. Atidhara. Asi is sword. Dhara is the sharp edge. Now, what are the activities which are so tough for others, which wise people do very easily? Pradhanam, prachannam, whatever they give, donation, charity, they don't publicize it. Prachanna means non-publicizing, keeping it concealed. Griham upagate sambhrama vidhihi, those who visit them, yes, they entertain them with the maximum hospitality. Sambhrama vidhihi. Priyam kritva maunam sadasi kathanam chatyukurtehe. Priyam kritva maunam. Having done something good to somebody, we want to publicize it. That is in human nature. They don't have that nature. They keep silent. Having done something very good, extraordinarily good, even then they keep silent. Sadati kathanam chapyupakritehe. Upakritehe. When they receive help from others, what do? They go and publicize it in an assembly, sadasi. In an assembly of people, they say in loud voice, this man has helped me like this in this manner. Sadati kathanam chapyapakritehe anusseko lakshmyam. When they are blessed with wealth, they don't become proud. Nirabhibhavasara parakathaha. Parakathaha. Any story about others, they are all very interesting. We always like to talk about the defects of others. What do the wise people do? Nirabhibhavasaraha. Anything which brings dishonor in those stories. If those stories are going to bring honor to them, fine. If it is going to bring any kind of disrespect, Abhibhava is disrespect. They will not do that. Nira Abhibhava Saraha. Their focus is always on not bringing dishonor. So this kind of difficult pratam, difficult vow, who prescribed it? Why it is prescribed? That is a poetic way of saying that if you want to be virtuous, do this like this. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajak karmani bharata jnanamavritya tutamaha pramade sanjayatyute rajastamashyabhibhuya sattvam bhavati bharata rajastatvam tamasyaiva tamastatvam rajastatha. When we are having the preponderance of one of these three gunas, what happens to the other two? Other two become subservient, as if they don't exist. That he is explaining individually. Rajastamasya abhibhuja sattvam bhavati. Sattva guna takes over by defeating, by subjugating Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Rajaha Tamasya abhibhuya. Having defeated them, having subjugated them, Sattva guna comes up. Similarly, Rajasattvam tamaschaiva tamasattvam rajastatha. Similarly, when Rajoguna is preponderant, which is the case with most of us, most of the times, when Rajoguna is preponderant, that subjugates Sattva-guna and Tamoguna. When Tamoguna is predominant, it subjugates Sattva-guna and Rajoguna. Tamas Sattvam Rajaha Tatha. Ubhau api Rajaha Tamasya Ubhau api Abhibhuje Sattvam Bhavati. Ubhau api. Both of them, without any distinction, both are equally subjugated. सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युत. Now, what is the sign of our being in Sattva Guna? Is there any method by which we can understand whether we are in Sattva Guna? Yes. सर्वद्वारेषु देहे अस्मिन् प्रकाशः उपजायते. Asmin dehe, in this body, when we are having sattva guna, sarvadvareshu prakashaha upajayate. In all sense organs, dvara should be understood as sense organs. Atmanaha upalabdhi dvarani shrotradini sarvani karanani. All sense organs like ear, eyes, etc., which are given to us by Bhagavan for realizing Atma. See how Shankara interprets. Atmanaha upalabdhi dvarani. Because it is easy for us to go to Atma using these sense organs instead of using them for going towards mundane pleasures. Antahkaranasya buddhehe vrittihi prakashaha. Now he says prakasha, light, shines in all the sense organs. That is the significance of, that is the sign of Sattva. Now, what is this prakasha? Antakaranasya buddhehe vrittihi. It shows the mode of the intellect, how the intellect is working. The working of the intellect is prakasha. It's working in a positive way. It is working towards attaining Atma Jnana. It is not working towards charming somebody or priding ourselves on something, etc., etc. It is working only towards attaining Atma Jnana. So then that is Atma Jnana is the greatest light. So when the intellect is exerting itself towards getting Atma Jnana, naturally it attains that light, and that light is seen through all these sense organs. Sarvadvareshu asmin dehe prakashaha upajayate. Jnanam yada tada vidyat vivriddham sattvamithyuta. What is this prakasha? That is jnana. This prakasha, this light, is because of jnana, because of atma jnana. Because of atma jnana, there is this light. When that happens, when that light is visible, jnanam yada vidyat, tada sattvam vivriddham. When jnana is present, when that light is present, understand that sattva is there. Vivriddham, it is in an expanded way. That is, it is occupying most of your personality. Vivriddham, it has grown in a fully blossomed state, sattva. When your sense organs, all of them, show light of the jnana. This is the indication. रजस्तमश्चाभिभूय सत्त्वं भवति भारत रजस्तत्त्वं तमश्चैव तमस्तत्त्वं रजस्तथा सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युत लोभः प्रवृत्तिरारम्भः कर्मणामशमस्पृहा रजस्येतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे भरतर्षभ. Hey Bharatarshabha, now he is explaining what happens when you are overcome by Rajoguna. Sattoguna he has explained, light of Jnana. Now what is Rajoguna's indications? Lobha, pravrittihi, arambha, karmanam, ashamaha, spruha. So many characteristics he is giving. Etani rajasi jayante. All these gunas, all these characteristics appear when you are having rajoguna predominantly. Rajasi etani jayante vivriddhe. They predominate. Not only they appear, they predominate. They grow. What are they? Lobha, greed. Greed is paradravya. How uh, Shankara explains it. We cannot tolerate somebody having wealth. That is lobha. We must get that wealth to ourselves. He should be deprived and we should get. That is lobha. Greed. No end to this greed. Pravrittihi. Pravritti means keep doing something because of the need to fulfill desire. Because of the urge of the desire, keep doing something. That is pravritti. Karmanam arambha. Starting to do something or the other. You cannot keep quiet. Because quietude is the sign of sattva. This man cannot keep quiet. Quietude is alien to his nature. So he will always keep doing something. Karmanam arambha. Ashamaha. Ashamaha. Shama is control of the mind. Ashamaha harsha ragadi pravrittihi. The mind is not under control. It is overcome. It is attached to pleasure and attachment. Pleasure and getting attached to something. That is harsha raga adi pravritti. That is ashamaha, opposite of shama. Spruha, sarva samanya vastu vishaya trishna. All kinds of ordinary objects make us attracted towards them. They attract us. All kinds of ordinary objects. Sarva samanya vastu vishaya trishna. That is spruha. It may be very ordinary thing. Somebody is having it, so we must have it. Or we have seen it in some shop, so we must have it. That kind of attitude. Etani rajasi vivriddhe jayante. These appear fully grown in rajoguna. Lobha pravrittirarambha karmanam ashamaspruha rajasyetani jayante vivriddhe bharatarshava aprakasho apravrittischa pramado mohayev cha tamasyetani jayante vivriddhe gurunandana. Etani tamasi vivriddhe jayante. These qualities appear fully grown when you are under the influence of tamoguna. What are they? Again, four qualities is giving. Aprakashaha, apravrittihi, pramadaha, mohaha. Aprakashaha, prakasha he said earlier, jnanam. Prakasha was defined as jnanam, sattva. So opposite of that, ajnana, aprakashaha. And this is because of avivekaha. Aprakashaha is defined as avivekaha. Lack of discrimination, non-discrimination, not knowing what is right and what is wrong. Wrong will appear as right, right will appear as wrong when you are in tamoguna. Because you are overcome by anger, you are overcome by greed. All these qualities have taken over. So naturally, your viveka has taken leave. Atyantam apravrittischa pravrityabhavaha tat karyam. Next is apravritti. Pravritti means wanting to do something, keep doing something. This is apravritti, very indolent, very lazy, not wanting to do anything. Pramadaha moha evacha. Pramada is neglect, we have seen before. Neglecting to do our duty is pramada. Moha is delusion. It is worse than pramada. Moha is complete understanding or misunderstanding of what is right and what is wrong. Right will appear as wrong will appear as right. That is moha. So, this is all mudhata, avivekaha, mudhata. This is all foolishness arising out of non-discrimination, all these characteristics. Tamasi gune vivriddhe etani lingani jayante. These characteristics appear in fully grown fashion when you are overcome by tamoguna. Aprakasho apravrittischa pramado moha eva cha tamasyedaani jayante vivriddhe kurunandana. यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयं याति देहभृत् तदोत्तमविदां लोकान् अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते. See, what happens is, when you are in a particular guna, sattva guna, rajo guna, or tamo guna, if you allow that to become your normal characteristic, generally you are in sattva guna, generally you are in rajo guna, generally you are in tamo guna. If that is your case, at the time of death, naturally that guna will take over. You can't avoid it because you have been used to that. So what happens when you die with sattva-guna predominance? What happens when you die when some rajoguna predominates? What happens when you die when tamoguna predominates? Bhagavan is answering that question. Yada sattve pravriddhetu pralayam yati dehabhrit. Dehabhrit atma. That is one who is possessing the body. Yada sattve pravriddhetu. When sattva guna is fully grown, pralayam yati, he drops the body. Pralayam yati, maranam yati, he drops the body. Then what happens? Tada, at that time, amalan uttamavidam lokan pratipadyate. Amalan, pure, no impurity. That kind of world he will go. Lokane pratipadyate. He will reach those worlds, those areas which are absolutely pure. Who are there? Uttamavidam lokane, those who know the highest truth, those people are present. So you will be in the company of those who know the highest truth. Uttamavidam mahadadi tattvavidam hiranyagarbhopasakanam. This is one explanation. One commentator says like this. That is, Sankhya Shastra talks about how evolution takes place, creation takes place, mahati, ahankara, etc. They know all this and they worship Brahma, Hiranyagarbha Upasaka. So they are in Brahmaloka, in other words. So this man, when he is in Sattva-guna, he reaches pure worlds where no impurity is there. What is purity and impurity? Mental purity, mental impurity. When Rajoguna or Tamoguna are impurities, Sattva-guna is purity. That we must understand. So, where only people who are in Sattva-guna, where the atmosphere is completely sattvic, you will go to that kind of world, that kind of atmosphere, and you will be accompanied, you will be surrounded by those who are knowers of truth. Uttama Vidam. That is a greatness. Then what happens when you die during Rajaguna predominance? Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangashu jayate tatha pralinastamasi mudhayo nishu jayate. Rajasi pralayam gatva. When you...
Right? Mazda? Flight?
Somebody has kept the speaker on. Rajasi pralayam gatva. When a person dies when Rajoguna is predominant, karma sangishu jayate. Naturally, see, depending on the guna, you will be born in that kind of atmosphere which promotes that guna. which is suitable for that guna. When Sattva guna predominates, you are born in Uttama Vidam Loka. Those who know the truth. So they are all Sattvika guna people. Whereas when you die, when Rajoguna is predominant, naturally karma sangishu, those who are wedded to karma, those who are attached to karma, action, because that is Rajoguna's main. So those Sattva-guna people went to higher worlds. The Rajoguna people will come to human world because karma sangha is karma sangi yukti karma sakti yukteshu manushyesu jayate. Human being is known for this kind of tendency, so he will be born there. Tatha pralina tamasi moodhayo nishu jayate. Tamasi pralina, one who dies during predominance of tamoguna, where he will be born. Moodhayo nishu, unwise, foolish, jada, pashwadi yonishu, like animals. So they will be born, they will not get again a human birth. For getting human birth, you have to die when Rajoguna is predominant. Otherwise, if Tamoguna is predominant, you are bound to fall into animal birth. And if you are dying when Sattva is predominant, like we see virtuous people, saints, etc., then you will go straight to Brahmaloka and you will be in the company of wise people. यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयं याति देहभृत् तदोत्तमविदां लोकान् अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा कर्मसङ्गिषु जायते तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि मूढयोनिषु जायते. He said Dehabhriti because it is the Atma which travels along with the mind and other tendencies. Because body is gone, body is dead and dropped here. What travels? Dehabhriti, the Atma with all these characteristics. That is why he is using the term Dehabhriti. Karmana sukritasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasah phalam. Sukritasya karmanaha satvikam nirmalam phalam ahuhu. If you do satvika work, that is whatever work you do when you are in sattva guna. Sukrita, he is calling it. When you are doing the work which is attached to sattva guna, he is calling it as sukrita. Sukritasya karmanasya. What is the phalam? What is the fruit of that karma which you do when you are in sattva guna? Satvikam nirmalam phalam. You will get sattvika. Very virtuous, very pure fruit. That is the benefit of doing sattva guna work. Then, if you do rajoguna work, rajasastu phalam dukkham, if you do work with rajoguna predominance, you are bound to reap the fruit of pain. Karmadhikarat phalamapi dukkhameva karana anurupyat rajasameva. Because when you are in rajoguna, you will be keeping on doing something for your benefit. And whatever you think is your benefit will always be pain, that we have seen before. All pleasures end in pain, Bhagavan said earlier, isn't it? All pleasures, with no exception, end in pain. That is what he is saying now. Karana anurupyate rajasameva. The fruit also will be rajasa, rajoguna. Rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasah phalam. You do some activity when you are in tamoguna. What activity you will do when you are in tamoguna? You will sleep or you will harm somebody. You will be violent. You will be doing all adharma. So what is the fruit of adharma activity? Ajnanam. You will be reaping the fruit of ajnana, opposite of jnana. You will be falling more and more into the Naturally, ajnana will increase the more you do this. Ajnanam tamasa phalam. Karmana suvrdasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam. Rajatastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasa phalam. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajasolo bhayeva cha pramadamobhau tamaso bhavato ajnanameva cha. He is sort of repeating the important characteristics of the three gunas for us to grasp that. Sattvad jnanam sanjayate. When you keep on doing work which promote sattva guna, when you are keeping on doing work which promotes sattva guna, then naturally you will reap the fruit of jnana. Sattvad jnanam sanjayate. Jnana is born when you are in sattva guna. Rajaso lobhaye vacha. You keep on doing work which is prompted by rajoguna. Naturally you will be developing your greed further and further. Lobhaye cha pramadamo tamaso bhavato ajnaname cha tamasaha. When you are in tamoguna, you keep on doing something. What will be the result? Now the result is being talked about. Pramadamoho ajnanam. Neglect, delusion, and ignorance. Opposite of jnana. Ajnanam cha, including ajnana, also ajnana. Not just pramada moha, not pramada and moha only. So, ajnanam is viveka abhavaha, we have seen before, absence of discrimination. Now, here Shankara makes one point. Sattvati sanjayate jnanam is the shloka. Sattvati labdhatmakati sanjayate samutpadyate jnana. Why jnana is available when you are in sattva guna? Because you are in contact with Atma. Labdha Atmakat. Atma is jnana. And because without being in contact with Atma, you cannot be performing Sattva-guna. Sattva-guna means you are in contact with Atma. So naturally jnana grows. That is the explanation given by Shankara. Let us go to this Neti Shatakam shloka. Gadyam dhiyo harati sinchati vachi satyam ज्ञानोन्नतिं दिशति पापमपाकरोति चेतप्रसादयति दिक्षु तनोति कीर्तिं सत्सङ्गति कथय किं न करोति पुंसाम्. Being Niti Shatakam, what is Niti? Morality. So, there are lots of slokas on these three gunas, Sattva-guna, Rajo-guna, and Tamo-guna. So, one of them says, what is the benefit of being in the company of virtuous people? Satsangatihi. Not necessarily virtuous people, virtuous company. It can be a book. You can be reading Ramayana. That is Satsanga. You can be listening to a lecture on Gita. That is Satsanga. So Satsanga is being in contact with Sat. That is Atma. Satsangati kathaya kim nakaroti pumsam. Tell me what it does not do. He is putting it in the form of a question in a very poetic manner. For pumsam, for people, Satsangatihi, contact, being in association with the virtuous people or virtuous objects, what it will not do, kimna karoti, it will do many things. Now he is listing. Jadyam dhiyo harati, dhiyaha jadyam harati, the inertia of the intellect is removed. Sinchati vachi satyam, it makes truth flow, sinchati, flow in your words. Truth is made to flow in your word. That means continuously you will be speaking only truth. Never untruth will come. Manonnatim dishati. Your, your attainment, your fame will go up and up. Unnatim dishati. Papam apakaroti. It removes sins, whatever sins you have done, you have accumulated, they go on attenuating in the company of virtuous people. And you will be reaping more and more punya. That is why your attainment keeps on increasing. Mana unnati. Mana here actually is referring to fame, punya, etc., etc. Chetah prasadayati dikshutanoti kirtim. Chetah prasadayati. You are always in a peaceful frame of mind. Prasadayati. Prasada is peaceful state, no agitation. That is the mental state that is attained. Dikshu kirtim tanoti in all directions, in all 4 directions or 8 directions. Your fame spreads. That is satsangati. So these are the benefits. Jadyam dhiyo harati sinchati vachi satyam manonnatam dishati papam apakaroti chetah prasadayati dikshu tanoti kirtim satsangati kasaya kim nakaroti pumsam सत्त्वात् संजायते ज्ञानं रजसो लोभ एव च प्रमादमोहो तमसो भवतो अज्ञानमेव च ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्था मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः जगन्यगुणवृत्तस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः. Though it was mentioned in a different context earlier in the previous slokas, now he is making it absolutely clear so that our attention is focused on this very important thing. Though it was mentioned earlier, it is given separate importance here. Urdhvam gachanti sattvasthaha. You keep on training yourself to be in sattva guna. So when you die, you will go up. Up means worlds of devas, worlds of Brahma, etc., etc. Those are situated above the earth. So सत्वस्थाः ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति राजसाः मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति. Those who are always in rajoguna, they continue to be in this world only, madhye, in the intermediate, in this world only as humans. Because madhya not only refers to the location of the earth, it also refers to the location of the human being's state. Human being state is right in between devas and animals. So मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः मनुष्येषु उत्पद्यन्ते जगन्यगुणवृत्तस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः. Tamasaha, those who are in tamoguna, jaganya guna vrittistha. Jaganya means despicable, vile, very evil. Vritti means mental mode. Their mental mode is highly despicable. Wedded to violence, wedded to harming somebody. This is there, or sleeping, indolence. So, jaganya guna vrittistha. Nidra alasyadi tatya vrittam tasmin sthitaha. We have seen before. Laziness, sleeping, violence, etc. Jaganya guna vrittistha. Adho gachanti, they go down. Just as Sattva people go up, these people go down. Go down means Pashwadi Onishu, animal like births. नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारं यदा द्रष्टानुपश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति. Now comes a very important turning point. Now he was describing all the 3 gunas in detail. But these gunas still are binding you to samsara. You have not gone out of samsara. For you to get out of samsara, you have to go above the 3 gunas. That point now he is making. Ultimately, we have to, our goal is moksha. This is, Bhagavad Gita is moksha shastra. So if you are going to be reborn as Deva, if you are going to be reborn as a Manushya, if you are going to be reborn as an animal, that doesn't solve the problem. Even after being born as a Deva, you will come back to earth if your stock of punya is over, that we have seen before. So, what will actually release us from the cycle of repeated births, going above, going beyond all the three gunas? So, now how to do that? He is explaining. Madbhavam saha adhigacchati. He attains to my state. He attains to the supreme state. Who? नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारं यदा द्रष्टा अनुपश्यति. Drashta. Drashta is one who sees. A seer. A seer, anupashyati, keeps seeing repeatedly. What he is seeing? Kartaram gunebhyaha na anyam. That is the crux. Kartaram, all activities which are being done by the mind, by the body, by speech, all activities. Who is the doer? Gunas are the doer. As long as you are in the body, you cannot avoid activities. Mental activity, physical activity, and verbal activity will continue. Now, what is the difference between jnani and an ordinary person who is overcome by these three gunas? Jnani also engages in all the three activities. What is the difference? Difference is he knows that it is the gunas which are operating. I am in sattva guna, so I am peaceful. I am in rajo guna, so I am doing some work for my benefit. Because work for your own benefit is also permitted for maintaining your body. Because Shankara himself has repeatedly said, you have to maintain your body till you die. So for that you have to do some work, maybe go and beg for alms. So that is also a fruit which you are expecting. So you are in Rajoguna to that extent. Tamoguna, you have to sleep. Sleep is part of Tamoguna. So these three gunas keep coming again and again in a human being's life, even in the case of a jnani. So what is the difference? He is also going through three gunas, I am also going through three gunas. That question will come. The difference is when he is in the three gunas, he knows it is the guna which is operating, not himself. He makes a distinction between himself and the guna. Guna is the doer, I am not the doer. Kartaram gunebhyaha na anyam anupashyati. He does not see any doer other than gunas, other than sattva rajo tamo gunas. That is the crux. गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति मद्भावं योऽधिगच्छति. If he keeps on this kind of training, if he keeps training his mind that all activities are being ascribed to Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna and not to himself as a personality, his Atma, then this training will lead him to the knowledge of Paramatma, Gunebhyascha Param, the one who is beyond these three gunas. Who is that? Paramatma. Vetti, he will come to know. He will come to know Paramatma, who is beyond all the three gunas. Madbhavam saha adhigacchati, he attains to my state. My state being Paramatma state. So, the crux is the jnani realizes all activities stem from the three gunas, and when the sadhaka recognizes this at all times, and he does not see anyone else as the doer, as the cause of action, then naturally he will see Atma. Gunebhyascha param vetti. That is a natural process. पुरुषस्य प्रकृतिस्थस्वरूपेण मिथ्याज्ञानेन युक्तस्य भोग्येषु गुणेषु. Now, Shankara is summarizing the previous shlokas and then explaining this shloka's context. Very nicely he is doing it. Purushasya prakrithasya swarupena mithyaඥānena yuktasya bhogyeshu guneshu sukha dukkha mohatmakeshu. When he was wedded to nature, nature being these three gunas, and he does not have any true knowledge, mithyaඥāna. He had no true knowledge, and he was attached to the pleasures or the pains of this world, bhogyeshu guneshu. Sukha dukkha mohatmakeshu. It was leading to either pleasure or pain or delusion, depending on sattva, rajo, tamo gunas. You see how nicely he is listing. Sattva guna will give you sukha, rajo guna will give you dukkha, tamo guna will give you moha, delusion. Sukhi dukhi moodaha aham asmi ityevam rupaha yaha sangaha saha karanam purushasya. I am experiencing pleasure. I am experiencing pain. I am experiencing delusion. If somebody thinks like that, then naturally he is overcome by these three gunas. Purushasya sadasadyoni janma prapti lakshanasya samsarasya. This was explained even in the previous chapter. He says, Shankara says, samatena purvadhyaye yadu uttam. That is, he will be reborn in good births or evil births, depending on these gunas. तत् यह सत्त्वं रजस्तम इति गुणाः प्रकृतिसम्भवाः इति आरभ्य, he started here in shloka number 5, that these three gunas are born of nature, of prakriti, of maya. All the gunas are only for maya, not for atma. So he started like that. Gunaswarupam gunavrittam savrittena cha gunanam bandhakatvam. The personality of the gunas, the swarupa, what its tendency is, gunavrittam. Savrittena cha gunanam bandhakatvam. How one's activity, one's tendency is bound by the gunas. All this was explained by Bhagavan. Gunavritta nibaddhasya cha purushasya yadatihi. What is the goal? Or where does he go? What is the destination for such a person? That was also explained. When you dive in this guna, that guna, etc. इत्येतत् सर्वं मिथ्याज्ञानमूलं बन्धकारणं विस्तरेण उक्त्वा, explaining in detail all these are bandhakaranam, causes of bondage. How this bondage occurs? Mithyajnana moolam, rooted in false knowledge. Rooted in false knowledge, this bondage occurs to us, and that has explained in detail. Adhuna samyuk darshanat mokshaha vaktavyaha. Now what is the subject? Subject is, if you leave aside mithya jnana, if you get samyak jnana, real knowledge, true knowledge, you will get moksha. That true knowledge is gunebhyascha param veti. So Shankara has explained it very nicely. Vaktavyaha tataha aha Bhagavan, he says. That is why Bhagavan has mentioned this. We will go to this. Subhashita for please. This Subhashita is really beautiful. It says, Dambhena lobhena bhiya kriyava prayo vinito janayesha sarvaha vairagyatastat vairagyatasva hridayam vinitam naram varam durlabhame vamanye. See, we act in this world as if we want to show out to the outside world that we are very humble. That this Subhashita brings out that nicely. How do we make that appearance? How do we create that appearance? I am not really humble, but I put up an appearance of humility. How do I do that? Dambhena, by adopting a false appearance. Lobhena, greed. By putting this appearance, I will get something. Lot of present day gurus and saints do this. So, lobhena, bhiya, or out of fear. If I don't do this, maybe I will get a beating, because I have done it in the past. Shriyava, or out of shyness. I have made a name, so I must keep up that name, otherwise it will not look nice, out of shyness. So these are the various reasons which make one put up an appearance of humility. Rayo Vineto Janayesha Sarvaha, all people who put up this kind of appearance are overcome by one of these reasons. Vairagyatasva hridayam vinitam naram varam durlabhame vamanye. That man is really difficult to find. Durlabham. Who? Vairagyatasva hridayam vinitam. His heart is actually humble because of vairagya, because of non-attachment. He has developed detachment from all mundane things. So his attachment is only to Atma. So he is humble because whatever he has in this world is all attached to the body. And he is not the body. He is Atma. So why does he care for what the body looks like or what the body does or what the body has earned the fame of, etc., etc.? So, including the mind, body means including the mind. So Durlabhameva Manye, I consider this kind of person, it is very rare, who whose heart is full of detachment. And so he is Vinitam Naram, he is full of humility and virtue. Vinitam also includes virtue. He is leading a virtuous life, that also is included. So humility and virtue mark his character. दम्भेन लोभेन भिया क्रिया वा प्रायो विनीतो जनयेष सर्वः वैराग्यतस्त्वा हृदयं विनीतं नरं वरं दुर्लभमेव मन्ये नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारं यथा दृष्टानुपश्यति गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति. So it comes to the final state of moksha in this sloka. Now he is explaining further the state of that person who has gone beyond the gunas. Gunanetanatityatreen dehi deha samudbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkaihi vimuktaha amritamasnute. Because last sloka, he didn't make it clear that he has attained moksha. We inferred it. What he said? Gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam saha adhigacchati. He has understood, he has recognized the Paramatma who is beyond the three gunas, and he attains to my state. Attaining to his state is moksha only. But you may still have a doubt. Maybe he will attain temporarily. Maybe after some time he will be reborn. That may be your doubt. That is not the case. Gunanetan atitya treen. Etan treen gunan atitya. Atitya means having transcended, having gone beyond. These three gunas, these three characteristics, Dehi, the Atma, Dehi is Atma, not the body. Atma, Deha Samudbhavan, Gunan Atitya. These gunas, which he has transcended, give rise to body. Deha Samudbhavan. The gunas give rise to body. The gunas give rise to all the actions of the body. The very birth of the body is because of the gunas. So that he has understood. And he has gone beyond the gunas. Gunanetan atititrin dehi deha samudbhavan. Deha samudbhavan etane gunan. These gunas which cause the birth of the body, he has gone beyond. These three. Janma mrityu jara dukkhaihi vimuktaha amritamashnute. Vimuktaha, he gets released. This is important. Mukti is release. Moksha is release. Release from what? Janma, mrityu, jara, dukkha. Birth, death, old age. Old age is also a big problem. Jara, dukkha, pain. He never gets into birth. He never gets into death. He never gets into a situation of pain. He never gets into a situation of old age. Because he is not born. Where is the question of old age? he gets released. Then what happens? Where does he go? Amritam Ashnute. He attains immortality. He attains Paramatma, who alone is immortal. Everything else is mortal. Everything else is subject to birth and death. Paramatma is alone, not subject to birth and death. So, Amritam Ashnute. He attains to immortality. Jivaneva vimuktaha sanne vidwan amritam ashnute. Okay, all this happens after you die. No, you can get this when you are still holding the body. Jivan mukta, we saw this concept earlier also. Now Shankara is explaining that. Because this shloka does not say that you will reach Paramatma state only after you die, after you have dropped the body. He doesn't say that. What does he say? The moment you have crossed all the three gunas, you are released from birth, death, pain, old age, and you will attain immortality. What does he say that you have to drop your body? He doesn't say that. So Shankara says very clearly, Jivaneva vimuktaha sanne vidwan amritam ashnute. Eva madbhavam adhigacchati. He said madbhavam adhigacchati in the previous sloka that he is bringing here as a context. He says, he will attain to my state, which is immortality, even when he is having the body, Jivan Neva. He is alive in the body. That is the Jivan Mukta state. Well, we have seen different kinds of mukti. We have seen Jivan Mukta, we have seen Videha Mukti, Krama Mukti, we have seen all that. That is those who get mukti after some time, having crossed various lokas, including Brahmaloka, etc. So that is Krama Mukti. Videha Mukti is mukti immediately after death. Immediately after death, release. Jivan Mukti is mukti when you are. Why there is a difference between Jivan Mukta and Videha Mukta? Because there is still some karma, some attachment, trace left in him. So he cannot be called Jivan Mukta. So that trace has to disappear. With the last breath, when Bhagavan will give you the jnana, he releases you actually. Bhagavan releases you and then he gives you mukti, that is Videha Mukti. So, गुणानेतानतीत्यत्रीन् देहे देहि देहसमुद्भवान् जन्म मृत्युजरा दुःखैः विमुक्तः अमृतम् अश्नुते. Now, Arjuna is going to ask a question about, because he said, na gunanetan atitya. Having crossed these three gunas, he said, isn't it? So his question is, how does one know that he has crossed all the three gunas? What are the characteristics? And how to reach that state? These are the questions which Arjuna is asking, that we will see tomorrow morning at 7 AM IST. We will meet tomorrow and we will continue with the balance, I think 7 slokas of this chapter tomorrow morning at 7 AM. So,
if anyone has any questions, you can unmute and kindly ask. Anyone has any questions?
no questions. Okay. So we close for the day. We meet again tomorrow, 7 AM IST, as usual. नमः पार्वतीपतये हर हर महादेव सर्वत्र गोविन्दनाम संकीर्तनं गोविन्द गोविन्द श्रीराजराजेश्वर्यै जय जय.
Thank you, sir.